What's good? You rocking with your boy TheCzarr, all rights reserved, moving forward. If not now, we already spoke about Lil Panamero. I'm going to tell you shortly about the interview we had. I already recorded that, so it's either going to be uploaded before or after. Regardless, there's something else we got to discuss. Now, this is a question that I asked her, and I got the answer I was looking for, believe it or not, and she could say what she wants. I got exactly the answers I was looking for. Who knew that Victor was going to get a jet ski fix? Who knew it would be a 2-day fix? Who knew that? Because, see, that's key. Whoever knew he was going there to get it fixed would have been able to put in the motions to it, or to alert other individuals looking for the perfect time to make their move. This is very important, because this helps to put things into regard of understanding, wait, if there were a mastermind and other influences, they had to have certain timeline knowledge of events occurring. Whether they were left or right, up or down, they knew events were occurring. And I want to give a shout out to the people trying to threaten certain individuals in CommenterNation. Trust me, you're threatening the wrong ones giving me information. And you're threatening the wrong ones altogether, because it's only going to come back to bite you. I'm told you in the other production, I'm going to tell you again, look, all I need is a bit of information. I don't care if I have just a first name or a last name. We have a special system that we put together that goes in and finds everything about you. And no, it's not released to the public, and no, it's nothing normal. Nothing normal. You're not going to just holler at somebody that's going to know how it's getting done. No. We do it a very special way. It's even more in-depth than a police system. So that's so you understand it. I told you, we're ahead of investigative techniques, ahead of investigation. That's why I'm ahead of investigation and knowledge in the way I produce things and do things. I'm way ahead of them. And it's not by chance. It's not by randomness. No, it's all by design. Everything's built by design, including the same way this channel was put together by me, solely by me. That's the one thing I'll take all the credit for. And the way it's grown was my whole vision. So understand that with a person that thinks and reacts that way, there comes a certain mentality of accomplishment and of basically getting things done the right way. And that's what I actually am more celebrated on, the fact of how I do things, and I do it right. You see, there's many different pieces of this still yet to be discussed, and we are asking questions, and I do videos piece by piece. But remember when I told you a while ago that I had this planned out, what I wanted to talk about, and it will only change due to other interactions of knowing other people and getting information from other people? I wasn't joking. I was actually serious when I said I had a whole regiment set from here, and I could do videos to the same time next year, discussing certain topics depending on what's released. See, what's released does not change the narrative. It only changes the way I attack. I told you the mentors and things I learned from, that's how I was able to perfect my technique, to take my technique to the next level in some instances, and to build a mentality around how this situation is possible. Who else knew that Victor was going to the store? Who knew he was going to be at Riva Motorsports? And when this shooting happened, and he was running, and I still don't agree with Lil Panamero, how was he running and he witnessed it all? That's not normal. She said he got in the store and was quote unquote freaking out, which would be normal if you didn't know what exactly was going to happen. But you may have still known something was going to happen and that someone was going to be there. Now, like I told you, I don't think he knew a shooting was going to happen, but he knew someone was going to show up somewhere. So that alone opens up the door to a new understanding of events. You knew someone was going to be somewhere doing something, which means that you were in contact with someone else. Who was he in contact with then? I understand his girlfriend was at work, so text message could have been in any way. We got messages, we got social media of all types where communication could have been formulated. But who was he communicating with? That's very vital. Who was he communicating with from these messages I saw? Because there was some type of communication in someone who knew him and knew a suspect. Now, you claim it wasn't you, which I understand, and I asked you questions about Amari. How is Amari really innocent? Was Amari innocent or not? That was the question. What was her innocence in it? She rolled to it with you, so you two were in direct contact, and you two actually knew, let's say, the deceased R.I.P. Cherry. You guys all knew each other. And you guys claim she never brought X around you. But it's hard for me to believe that she wouldn't have pulled out the card and let you know she was dealing with Tentacion. That doesn't make sense to me. There's no way anybody would not have mentioned that at all. And even if she mentioned it, you're telling me if you were true fans to rush to support him at Riva Motorsports in one of his worst times, you wouldn't have wanted to see him while he was alive and able to move around and hanging out with her? That's suspect. That's a suspect thing. I can accept your answer, but that's suspect. I think anyone with a brain can agree with me. That makes no sense. Because he's a superstar that she's hanging around with, at some point normalizing it. The fact that you guys were friends for so long, as you allege, I don't think she would have withheld that information from you. And if you knew that, I don't think you would have not wanted to hang out with her when she's hanging out with him. That blows my mind, Common. I don't really get that part. So that's going to need explained to me by somebody how that's possible, because I thought about it and I was like, I hear it, but I don't feel that. No, I don't believe it. I don't believe that. We also had discussions around, let's say, Victor himself. You guys were at the lake or whatever you claimed, and he kind of did what he had to do, got to a point of meeting up with you guys, and things transpired. Okay, I'll give you that. But let's get into the other part. So I asked you, did he have any communication or phone calls beforehand? You said no without a shadow of a doubt. You see, that's my issue. How would you have known? Are you linked to his phone? Now, here's the answer I was looking for, since you were trying to give me answers I was looking for. I don't know. I don't have his phone. That is a normal answer. But when someone says no without a shadow of a doubt, that breeds deception to me. Because there's no way you would have known. How? You don't have his phone? You're not his girlfriend? You're not looking at his phone? Then I asked you how Amari did an interview with him then. First, you denied it. Then you said, I don't know. She takes charge, takes lead. I can see that. From her Instagram, I can see that. So, it was her. I seen it. So you can't tell me it wasn't her doing the interview. Plus, there's other people that allege to it that told me behind the scenes it was her months ago that did it. I just never really got to the point of speaking about her. But I did an off-brand Victor and this false news anchor. All I knew was she wasn't no type of reporter or news anchor. The footage was not, let's say, reporter grade. She was not asking real reporter questions. And it seemed like you guys were enticed to do this. Whether or not she led the charge, as you said, which is very key, that she had the leadership spirit and wanted to do it, wanted to do Victor, but there were so many witnesses. That's very, very suspect to me. Let alone the fact she showed up, you guys left and showed up there. Now, here's what's tricky now. Here's where the trick comes, where you didn't understand what you were answering. And this is where it's revealing. She went with you to Riva Motorsports after it happened to Tentacion, which means you arrived before investigators. So who told you that happened? Who told you? Was it Victor? See, that's what you don't understand, because you did that report, or not you, but Amari and your friend who you rode with did that report before investigation hit the scene, because you were doing it right in front of the store and you weren't questioned in depth, or no one was taken into custody, and he had it up on social media before investigators could even put out the reports of their own. And then you mentioned, like the report said at that one time, and I'm not going to say the question I asked you yet, because that's another story, but you said, like the report said. See, listen, when someone is saying like the report said, referring to the report, that's when you're dodging the question. Listen, I've been doing this a good while. I know how to get a hint of deception when it comes to asking very specific questions about an issue. You had a very, very meticulous response there. Like the police report said, how late did it come out? How early were you guys there? Because I never saw you on cam. I never saw you on cam, but you said you rode up with her. And I know for a fact she was doing the reports, which you denied at first. But then you see, without a shadow of a doubt, I know she did it. Now you're saying I don't know, which means you don't want to speak in detail on her because that's your friend, which I truly understand in. Let's let this truck rev up. He wants to rev up on our video. Let him rev up. Let him rev. Go ring. Whatever that means. So that's where we get at odds. That's where we get at odds. It's not what you say, it's how you depict it. And whether you believe it or not, text messaging opens up a lot. Like, you know what I mean? It leads to a lot of deception for certain people. And it also leads to a lot of situations where a person may be misunderstanding what is truly being asked and why. You looked at my questions as dumb and you called it some other things we're not going to talk about. But ultimately, it was very productive for me. It helped me to get in-depth understanding to other theories that I do have. And that's not only the saddening part for me, but it's also the very the heebie-jeebies part for me, because now it builds to a lot of things I was thinking. Yes, I think about a lot of things. The Gemini has two alternate beings fighting each other in my mind, but now they had an aha moment, both of them. So that's not good. That's not good. But we're going to get into what's really not good. But you know how I rock. All rights reserved.